It's likely that 2023 will break records as the warmest year ever. This year, it's been exceptional. We've had some of these heat domes last for weeks, keeping one part of the Earth hot for extended periods of time. Usually, these heat domes last for a matter of days. You look at how things are today, the other factors involved, the greenhouse gases, volcanoes, El Nino, sun oscillations, and say, yeah, we'll probably break a bunch of heat records again next summer as well. Most of the warming that we're experiencing now, compared to our how things were back when we were children, which the world was cooler at that point, most of that is due to the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and those have come from burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. We've increased the carbon dioxide by a full 50% since pre-industrial times. And by increasing it 50%, we have significantly jolted our entire planetary climate system. They say there is a 50% chance that we will topple 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial times by the year 2028. That's a pretty dire warning, because once you start getting that warm, you're on the verge of hitting some of these major climate tipping points that are basically points of no return. It's where the seesaw swings over one direction and you catastrophically melt Greenland and shut down the Atlantic Ocean meridional overturning circulation, what used to be called the thermohaline circulation. You start Antarctica melting more dramatically, which is already happening this year. There are a variety of climate related and weather related disasters that happen as the world gets warmer. Obviously, droughts are a huge part of this. So you can have extended periods of high temperature and little precipitation. This kills vegetation, crops fail. This could cause famines and can have significant impacts, really bad impacts on countries and whole continents. There's a combination where sort of natural factors of the high temperatures from global warming drying out vegetation. This was a major factor for the wildfires that happened in Canada this summer. This is directly connected to the increased global temperatures. At the same time, you can also get extremely violent rain water related events. So you may have a part of the world that is getting less rain, but the rain it gets happens in a few flash events, enormous flooding that may also damage crops, wash away the plants on fields, destroy towns and cities, ruin houses. You also have these periods of extreme heat, like the heat domes, these heat waves. More people die in the US from heat waves than any other weather related impact. Many people are not prepared for extended periods of high temperature. If you go back through history, changes in climate have largely driven often the rise and fall of civilizations because of their impacts on crops. Crop failures, lack of food, increased disease. There's a snowball effect that happens. In my personal opinion, huge numbers of people are going to die. If you look at our history, as climates have changed and civilizations have risen and fallen, populations have dropped by massive amounts. It becomes increasingly possible as these climate tipping points are hit. Will civilization collapse? I don't think so. I think that the population will probably resettle at a significantly lower level. So we need to somehow break that cycle of finding ways to generate our electricity without burning fossil fuels. So using more wind and solar, things that don't add to the greenhouse effect, and finding other ways to stay cool, to reduce our consumption of anything that contributes. So drive less if you have a car that uses gasoline. take public transportation when possible, which is just a much more energy efficient way to travel. Vote, purchase things involve less consumption of energy, eat food that's grown locally. All of that contributes, but it won't be enough. We really have to change at an international level now, quickly, to avoid some of these catastrophes. We need to really have governments change their policies on a large scale.